Hello, everybody. Like to thank you guys for coming out to the weekly 4-H FFA meeting. Tonight we are going to go over feeding beef cattle for show. So all you folks out there with steers, this one's going to be for you. And accompany me tonight to help us with this, Jordan Ferreira, Drew Parsons, and Mark Stiver. And of course, I'm John Davis. So just to lead it off a little bit, let you know what we're going to get into tonight. We're going to talk about the 3 different stages you got here as you go to feed out your steers. We got your starters, we got your growers, we got your finishers, and each one of them their stages, we give a little bit different rations, a little bit different stuff, a little more, a little less, as we're feeding out them cattle. So I'd like to introduce Jordan Ferreira as he comes up to take stage, and he's going to get you going on your starter cattle.
How y'all doing tonight, man? I remember back when I was in 4-H. No, I wasn't in 4-H, but, I've been around a while. I've seen my share of beef cattle. I grew up raising cattle, and I helped out a guy. He grew up, he raised quite a bit of cattle. Did that show stuff in the fairs and shit, but, I helped him out. I know what's going on there. But I'm going to teach you about starting feeding right now.
They going to learn today.
Yes, they will. Anyways, you got to have a low energy but high roughage feed at the same time. Because these young cattle, they're used to this roughage feed and milk that if they hit that grain too hard, they're not going to like it. So you got to have high roughage so it fills up their stomach and they don't got problems with their microbes. And then on top of that, you add in a little bit of antibiotics. Every once in a while they need something to keep them healthy, however you feel about it. But sometimes it's not always needed. Some guys don't even worry about a starter feed program. Some guys just give them their grain as in a grower grain or a grower feed, and then add in some, grower feed in perspective to where it's limited, and then they give them free feed on their roughage or hay or whatever you want to give them. So the roughage fills them up, and they eat that grower feed, and they're sold. You only need to do this for about 2 or 4 weeks. Once they get stable with this, then you can head them right into their grower feed. That's about it on starter feeding, but I'm going to hand it over to Mark Stiver right here. He's going to tell you about grower feeding. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan, for introducing me. As you said, my name is Mark. Little background on my beef cattle. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I wake up every morning, piss excellence. And my dad told me at a young age, and stuck with me, if you ain't first, you're last. So, yes, son.
Well, what about second or third or fourth?
Well, that, son, is why you're never going to be supreme champion. So, today we're going to talk about the grower feed. When the cattle is 500 to 900 pounds, we're going to put it on. This feed right here is specifically for 400 to approximately 750 pounds, and there's at least 12% protein in all grower feeds. This one, as you can tell, is a great specimen. It's got 12.5%. And you want a small framed steer, they can be finished on a grower. Now there are finishers out there, which are for larger framed, but they can be finished. When they need to be finished, they're huge, about 1,000 pounds. You switch them 100 to 150 days before the show. And now, there it is. Okay, so in our feeds, we want a high energy base to really get those suckers good. It's going to be a mostly grain mixture. We're going to, of course, turn them out to pasture. And when those suckers just get all beefy and big, we're going to turn into a finisher. And to talk about that, I'm going to have my buddy Drew come up here and finish it. See what I did there?
Well, hello, though. I'm Drew Parsons. I'm going to talk a little about the finishing feed. And to start things off, I'll show you a little bit of my background. So I did that steer raising stuff. I once raised one, and I showed it. I didn't win because I didn't have this great knowledge as I do now. So what I'm going to tell you about those finishers is that it's used for the large frame, later maturing animals. So, you know, it is fed to give the cattle the correct amount of finish, so it got that fat cover all over them, and they are nice and tasty for your dinners and lunches and maybe even breakfast. So when you're going to do this is, like Mark said, is 100 to 150 days before they do the show day, or when they weigh 800 to 200,000 pounds, whatever. But sometimes you don't want to feed it. In that case, you don't feed it to the British and the continental breeds. It's too rich. You know, if you don't really want to feed it, then you could just finish it off the non-finisher, the grower stuff. You know, it's so. But if you want it rich, but still not too rich, you can dilute it with the grower, and that's some good mix. And when switching from the finisher to the grower, when you're making that big old switch, you're gonna want like quarter pound every single time for 7 to 14 days, and then after 4 to 6 weeks, you're gonna nail it, and then they're gonna be on that finisher till show day, and you're gonna win. So you know, to finish things up, I'm gonna give it to my man. He's the one with the plan. He's gonna finish everything up even after me. He's gonna do it real good. It's my boy, J-Dub.
All right, guys, just one more time. Gotta get a big round of applause for Mark, Jordan, and Drew. They are the best. You heard it here. You ain't gonna hear anything better out there. So take what they had to heart. So let me hear that round of applause right now.
So good!
Thank you. All right, just to really drive that nail on home with your steers, I want you guys to know this. It's going to make you better. You're going to be real successful with it. For that starter, high roughage feed, high fiber, 2 to 4 weeks. That's it. As that rumen starts to develop some tolerance to some grain. That's what you want. Now, for the grower, it's for cattle about 500, 900 pounds. Like Mark said, you really want that 12% protein. You want that high energy. You want them to grow, hence grower. It's what they do. Now, hold on. My booth ain't calling. Babe, what are you doing right now? I told you I had the meeting tonight. No, I'm not off drinking with my buddies. I have a meeting. I'm talking to kids. I'm changing people's life right now. You don't get it. Yeah, I love you too. I'll see you home. Sorry about that, guys. As I was saying, that finisher, you want to switch that finisher ration about 100, 150 days before your competition. It's critical. You want high energy. It's what they do to finish that. You want that 1,000-pound steer. You want it. You want that flat back. You want that nice body condition score, that BCS as they say. Because if you have that, you will get yourself one of these, Supreme Grand Champion. And you know what that Supreme Grand Champion going to do for you? One, bragging rights, tell your buddies that they suck. And like Mark said, if you ain't first, you're last. So you won't be first. And at the end of the summer, when you show that steer at fair, and you're getting $12 a pound for that 1,000-pound steer, you're going to make it rain. I'd like to thank y'all for coming out again. See you next week, the annual or weekly 4-H FFA meeting. Y'all have a good night.